Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning Upgraded. Today we're going to delve into the fascinating world of project management, specifically the project management lifecycle. Before we start, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone who you know will benefit from it. Doing this really helps my channel to grow, so thank you in advance. Now you might think project management is all about business meetings and Gantt charts, but it's much more than that. In fact, we use the principles of project management in our day-to-day lives, often without realizing it. To make it more relatable, imagine baking a cake. Yes, you heard it right. Baking a cake. From deciding to bake, selecting a recipe, gathering ingredients, following the baking instructions, to finally savoring that sweet victory, each step mirrors the phases of a project management life cycle. In the world of project management, these steps are known as initiation, planning, execution, and monitoring and control. So are you ready to bake a project from scratch? Let's dive right in. Every successful project starts with a clear sense of purpose. This is what we call the initiation phase. It's the birth of the project, where the idea takes shape and gets the green light to proceed. Imagine you've decided to bake a cake. This decision is the very start of your project, but it doesn't stop there. The initiation phase is also about understanding the why and the what of your project. Why are you baking a cake? Is it for a birthday, a celebration, or just a sweet treat for a quiet afternoon at home? What type of cake are you going to make? A classic vanilla sponge, a rich chocolate ganache, or a tangy lemon drizzle? These decisions form the foundation of your project. Next, we gather our resources, much like assembling our ingredients for the cake. If our project was a commercial venture, this might involve securing funding or assembling a project team. In our cake baking project, it's about ensuring we have the flour, eggs, sugar, and everything else our recipe requires. Just as a baker wouldn't start mixing without knowing they have all their ingredients, a project manager wouldn't proceed without a clear understanding of the project's goals, requirements, and resources. So in the initiation phase, we've identified our project and gathered our resources. What's next? Having gathered our ingredients, it's time to move to the planning phase. This critical stage is all about setting the stage for success. Just like choosing a recipe for our cake, we need to outline the steps to achieve our goal. And just as we decide how much flour, sugar, and eggs we'll need in project planning, we need to determine our resources and how they'll be allocated. Our recipe in project management is the project plan. It's the blueprint of our project, our roadmap to success. It outlines the tasks, sets the timelines, and identifies potential risks. It's a comprehensive guide that ensures we're prepared for any hiccups along the way. Just like we wouldn't start baking a cake without knowing the right amount of ingredients, we can't start a project without a detailed plan. We need to know what we're getting into, what obstacles we might face, and how to overcome them. It's like preheating the oven at the right temperature. It sets us up for a perfect bake. In the planning phase, it's also important to identify potential risks. Just like we'd ensure we have a fire extinguisher handy while baking, we need to prepare for any potential risks in our project. It's about being proactive, not reactive. With our detailed plan in place, we're ready to move to the heart of the project, the execution phase. Now that we have our plan, it's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work in the execution phase. This is where our project truly comes to life. Akin to the moment we confidently mix our ingredients and slide the cake into the oven. In project management, we align with the project plan meticulously. Each task is assigned, every team member is hands on deck, and all efforts are directed towards the common goal. It's a stage of action, momentum, and tangible progress. Picture this: as you mix the flour, crack the eggs, and pour the batter, you're not just following a recipe. You're actively transforming individual ingredients into a unified mixture ready for transformation. The execution phase is essentially the heart of the project, where most of the resources and efforts are invested. With the cake in the oven, we now move to the next crucial phase: monitoring and control. While our cake is baking, we can't just sit back and relax. Now, we're in the monitoring and controlling phase. This is the stage where we keep a vigilant eye on the progress of our project. We're like a watchful baker, ensuring our cake is rising properly and not burning. Just as the aroma filling the kitchen gives us clues about how our cake is doing, in project management we use tools and techniques to track, review, and regulate the progress and performance of the project. We're making sure everything is proceeding according to plan, And what if things aren't going as expected? What if the cake isn't rising or it's browning too quickly? That's where control comes in. We might lower the oven's temperature or move the cake to a different rack. Similarly, in our project, if we notice a deviation from the plan, we need to take corrective action. This could mean reallocating resources, adjusting timelines, or revising our approach. Keeping a check on the project helps us identify potential issues early and allows us to make necessary adjustments. It ensures that the project stays on track and that the quality of the final product meets our expectations. Remember, monitoring and controlling is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process that goes hand in hand with execution. Our cake is baked and our project is complete. But that's not the end of our project management life cycle. We've baked a cake, and more importantly, we've seen how a project goes from an idea to completion. We've journeyed through the initiation, where we set our goals and gathered our resources. We've planned meticulously, outlining our steps. We executed, turning our plans into action, and we monitored and adjusted as needed. Each phase is critical in the project management life cycle, just as every ingredient matters in a cake. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the project management life cycle. Remember, a well-managed project is like a well-baked cake. It requires the right ingredients, a good plan, careful execution, and constant monitoring. Happy project managing.